Hello, Mr.
All right.
Hi. Good to see you. See you. Let me see. You know, step out and leave, so I don't get caught. She has a baby. They came to college now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 8 months. So I got 3 months.
Yeah.
That's exciting. What's his name again? Hi, nice to see you. I'm trying to go around, so. I turn around, it's another analysis on another legislation. Whatever, so yeah, it is. It really is, and I don't know if you remember, that's when I realized I have other issues. Like, what can I really do to my mind, what can I do for that? Sorry, just realized, oh, okay, but not a deep dive. Thank you, you wouldn't leave the house, you wouldn't leave the house.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Oh, hi. Yeah, I've never gone either. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, I forget that. Oh, okay. That's my goal is to get some people and go hang and.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. You don't feel it.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah, it's about the.
Yeah, it was a. It's really good. I've been tomorrow.
Yeah, you have to be like, your height, you have to be just heightened there, so much stuff.
But I just thought that.
I've got it. Look.
Yes.
That is fantastic. You've been going a mile a minute for so long. That is fantastic. I'm happy for you.
Because I.
And then, that's why they're trying to. Well, it's slash B.
That's
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I know. Hi. Nice to see you. Thank you ever so much. It's nice, so much getting caught up on. That's true.
It's been one of those Mondays.
Yeah, no, I know. But I do want to. Okay, thanks, Michael. I'll put Diane. Our director. Okay, you know a lot of people. Don't give me a hard time. Okay. Whatever, whatever you put. I don't think Marty's gonna be making our change today. She might be not very good, maybe trying out. You might be her change. Hi, nice to see you. And I know you right now. You have a dog that age. I have to show you. Okay. It's something that reminded me of you so much. I'm like, Jennifer. She's got a new thing. Very cute. Like your we're missing one, right? Yeah, we're missing one. Cheryl's here. Oh, Cheryl.
We need one more.
Yeah, Cheryl gets one and
Diane's on her way. She missed it.
I got it. Thank you so much.
Love it, perfect.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting to order for Monday, April 13th, 2024. And may I have our illustrious interpreters give us the guidelines, please, in English and in Spanish. Thank you. Good afternoon. We're going to have simultaneous interpretation for those on Zoom. Please choose a language you want to hear the meeting, even if you're bilingual, so you don't miss any information, please. Buenas tardes, vamos a tener interpretación simultánea. Para los que están en Zoom, por favor, escojan el idioma en el que quieren escuchar la junta, aun cuando sean bilingües. Gracias. Thank you very much. All right, next we have, roll call and introductions, and BHAB members, if you would kindly state, your district and also what committee you are on, please. And, I just want to remind everyone to please speak slowly so our interpreters can get what everyone is saying, please. All right, we have our member at large, James, if you would please do the roll call, please.
Well, there we go. Okay, thank you. Soledad Barragan. Soledad. Soledad is absent. Nancy Porter.
Present, and I serve on District 3 Supervisor Long's appointment, and I serve on the Adult Committee.
Game Working. Game Working is absent. Kevin Corici.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kevin. I serve on District 1, and I'm the chair of the Youth and Family Committee. Happy to be here.
Right. James Espinoza, I'm president, District 4, veteran representative, and I'm on the prevention committee. Genevieve Flores Harrell.
Present. District 1, Disparities Committee.
Cheryl Heitman.
Present, District 1 Children and Family Committee.
CJ Keavy.
CJ is on her way.
Okay. Naomi Marufo. Naomi is absent. Diane McKay.
On her way.
Diane McKay is on her way.
Also Supervisor Levier is absent today.
Oh, skipped his name. Supervisor Matt Levere, absent. Jennifer Morrison.
Present, District 4 appointee, member of the Adult Services Committee, and a board member of the Candela Group.
Sean Pusey.
Sean Pusey, law enforcement representative and the Adult Services Committee.
Dahlia Robkin.
District 4 Transitional Youth.
Michael Rodriguez.
Good afternoon, District 5, Youth and Family Services and Adult and Disparities Reduction Committees.
Elizabeth Stone. Elizabeth Stone is absent. She present online, no. Chris Tejeda.
Hi, Chris Tejeda, member of the 4th District and chair of the Adult Services Committee.
Correct. Marlon Torres. Marlon is absent. Liz Warren.
Good afternoon, President Liz Warren, Executive Director of the Client Network, First Vice Chair for District 5. Prevention Committee.
And Janice Gardner.
Janice Gardner, Prevention Committee, and I am in Supervisor Long's district. Now Supervisor Gorell's district. Thank you.
12 with a quorum.
Good, we have a quorum. Thank you very much, James. Appreciate that. Okay, Jackie, do we have any emergency or, let's see, emergency or just cause absences today?
No.
No, okay, thank you. All right, we have a motion to approve today's agenda.
Second.
So moved by Michael Rodriguez and seconded by, who was it?
Liz Warren.
Thank you.
And then before we entertain a motion, can we move item 16B up to just after the director's report, just after, number 9? Because it's an action item, and I want to make sure that we have.
Yeah, we have 12, so, even if you leave, Michael, we should have a forum. Is that okay with you? That's fine. All right, let me just double check, let me just take a look, wait, please. Okay, we can do that. Okay. Just in case anyone else has to leave early. Thank you, Michael. All right, so, with that change, do the, persons who made the first, who made the motion and the person who made the second, do you agree with that change?
Yes.
Yes, as amended.
Okay, all right. All right, James, did you do the roll call, please, as amended? Thank you.
Nancy Borchard?
Yes.
Nancy Borchard,
Yes.
Kevin Paricci,
Yes.
James Espinoza, yes. Genevieve Flores Arnold,
Yes.
Cheryl Heitman,
Yes.
Jennifer Morrison,
Yes.
Sean Pusey,
Yes.
Dahlia Rodkin,
Yes.
Michael Rodriguez,
Yes.
Chris Tejeda,
Yes.
Liz Warren,
Yes.
Janice Gardner.
Yes. All right, the motion passes as amended. We have a motion to approve the minutes, please, and that would be for March 18th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Are there any changes or discussion to the minutes? All right, hearing none. Then we have a roll call, please, James.
Nancy Borchard,
Yes.
Kevin Paricci,
Yes.
James Espinoza, yes. Genevieve Flores Arnold,
Yes.
Cheryl Heitman,
Yes.
Jennifer Morrison,
Yes.
Sean Pusey,
Yes.
Dahlia Rodkin,
Yes.
Michael Rodriguez,
Yes.
Chris Tejeda,
Abstain.
Liz Warren,
Abstain?
Janice Gardner.
Yes. All right, motion passes as amended. Oh, no, motion passes as written. Thank you very much. Okay, next we have public comments, and I do have one written public comment, and that is from Pete LaFollette, and I will read it now. Regarding the state ballot March 5th Proposition 1 returns, we are eternally hopeful that what has been built up by the MHSA client culture will continue on in some form that recognizes that although this movement wavers in form and content, it continues relentlessly. And that is the public comment. Thank you very much for your public comment. Are there any other public comments? Okay. I did want to mention that I checked Rosenberg's Rules of Order, and I did want to mention that public comments can be made during the agenda item or before the agenda item. And public comments not on any other subjects not on the agenda can be made during our public comment section on the agenda. So I just wanted everyone to know that public comments are certainly welcome, and we look forward to hearing from everyone. Okay, next, the announcement for the 30-day posting and public review for the MHSA annual update for fiscal year 2023-24. Dates are April 15th, 2024 through May 20th, 2024. We'll be closing the public comment period next month on the BHAB, but it's very important for everyone to know that any and all feedback regarding this annual update can be sent to mhsa@ventura.org. All right. Okay, and now we have our time certain presentation. Pacific Clinic's Tate Tunnel Wellness and Recovery Center. And the presenters today will be Vanessa Cortez, Program Manager, and Cece Romero, Team Lead, Ascension. And we're so excited to have you here and to look at your presentation and see your video. And I did want to mention one other thing, and that is that Nomi Move just joined us, our BHAB member. So, and so did that. Okay.
I can't take it.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, please go ahead. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for allowing us to present. We are going to start off with our video. It is a rough cut. It's a work in progress. After the video, we'll go over our presentation briefly. Thank you.
Yeah, we had this issue,
We did.
a problem, everybody, so, volume control on the wall there.
Jackie?
Known to the youth here. Transitioning from teen to adult can be difficult for anyone, but it's especially hard when complicated by homelessness, substance use, mental health issues, or abuse.
It's a special, delicate time for a lot of our youth, especially those who are in-house, don't have a supportive family. It's very difficult to transition into adulthood.
At this Pacific Clinic's drop-in center, known to the youth here as Tate Tunnel, a full menu of life-changing services are available for the taking for anyone 18 to 25.
A lot of our youth oftentimes, have difficulty in connecting to social services because of their own mental health issues or their own behavioral challenges.
Tate Tunnel offers you a safe place to belong. Sometimes all you need is a place to do a load of laundry or grab a shower. Donated clothes are available for those in need. And team members are standing by to help with healthcare, mental health services, housing, and job placement. Members are encouraged to use the computers for job search and emails. There's even one-on-one help for those who need to learn basic money management.
I truly believe, just based on my own personal experience, that financial literacy and employment is the way out of poverty. And that's also a way to eliminate stigma in the community, is working and being independent as possible.
Selena is a peer partner, but first came in as a member after her father's suicide.
I was able to let my family know that I struggled with self-harm. And that was one of the biggest things that I struggled with growing up in general, because I was bullied a lot for my disability. My fingers weren't formed fully in the womb, and I struggle with grasping things like picking up or pulling.
Despite her disability, Serena has been an invaluable asset to the team, using her experience and empathy to help others.
It's emotional, but at the same time, it's very uplifting. It makes me feel like, hey, if I couldn't help my dad, so I really want to do something for someone else.
Jashawn began coming here after escaping an abusive home and remembers the first day meeting peer partner Javier.
And then he asked me a specific question: how can I help you? They help me out throughout, from 18 to all the way to 25. They help me out a lot.
I feel like it's a way of just giving back. Gave my life purpose. And I'm just so proud of them.
What's troubling for the interviews? I mean, I've met a lot of youth through my career here, right? And it's amazing to see them now in their thirties and hey, Vanessa, it's great to see you. You know, thank you so much that the center has done for me. And if it wasn't for the program, I wouldn't be here.
For transitional age youth, Take Time has become a vital resource, providing a sense of community and support at a critical time in their lives.
Here at the Take Time, we're just grateful for the Ventura County behavioral health and the ability to have that supportive, collaborative care that we provide our youth.
My name is Vanessa Cortez. I'm the program manager of Take Tunnel. I've been with the Take Tunnel since the beginning. We opened back in 2007. So I've been there for a very long time. We're a transitional youth, a wellness and recovery center known as Take Tunnel. We say tunnel because when you go to the center, it literally looks like a tunnel. I don't know if you're able to see that through the video, but that's why we're called Tunnel. And we serve all Ventura County. Next one. We're located in downtown Oxnard. We're by the Plaza Park. We're also by the Oxnard Transit Center, so it's really easy to get to us. We can meet the youth at the OTC. We can teach how to ride the bus. So, and our one of us is here too. And it's on the flyers that were sent out too. Next slide. Oh, I also forgot to mention, we're on Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Our mission statement, the Take Tunnel empowers individuals to take an active role in creating positive lifestyle changes within a supportive, safe, and understanding environment. By creating stepping stones to independent living, we can all light the passion and have happier and healthier lives. Next up. We're a team of 8 individuals. We have 3 individuals who are bilingual. We are currently hiring for a part-time position. I will send that flyer to Jackie and Shannon, so you can send it to everybody. So if you know anybody who wants to get into this field, it is an entry-level position. We are looking for somebody. Sorry. These are our flyers. They're in English, they're Spanish. We also have pocket cards. Our youth tend to take the pocket cards because you can fold it, put it right in their pocket, their wallet. It's more easier access for them to take. The flyers are mostly for providers. Those are the popular ones. They can put it on their on their walls, anywhere that they want to show our services. And I do send an email out monthly to show all the changes that are coming up, events, workshops, things like that. Next slide. This is our calendar. Our calendar does change monthly based on the month. We can take classes off, put classes on. One of our classes that we do offer, which is called Take Counsel. Take Counsel is where we're able to get feedback from the members that we serve. And they're offering us like workshops to do. What can we change? What can we offer? You'll see right now all the beautiful slides of the center. We take the feedback from our members and we put it into the center. So putting artwork up, taking things down, moving things around, we really move forward with our peers. We're peer run, peer driven. That's how we operate daily. You'll be able to see on the calendar, we have groups of the day. Every group has a description of what it is. So I don't want to go through all of them, but you can definitely see it when you have the PowerPoint. Next slide. Steps to get services from Take Tunnel. The youth can call us directly. They can walk in. Provider referral can be done if you're working for an agency and you're serving a youth that's 18 to 25. You fill out the referral, you send it to us. We'll make contact with the youth. Requirements are ages 18 up to their 25th birthday. We ask that they follow the center guidelines. They sign up for the membership back and forth visit. All our services are free, so it's free of charge for the youth. All they have to do is want to participate in their journey.
We do offer pickup services at the door, member mail, clothing, care packages, because we understand some of our youth are on the go. They're trying to get things done, they just want to get something and get going. We're okay with that. We want to break down the barrier so they can work on next steps. We have clothing are limited. They're given to us by donations. We do have petty cash to purchase certain things, but if they want something immediately, we rely on our clothing closet. Mail services we do offer for our members. They have to be a member and they have to be active with us, and we hold mail for 7 business days. We do not accept packages. And we just ask that our youth keep confidential at all times. They do not come under the influence, honor personal boundaries, respect the center at all times, use appropriate boundaries, approach with kindness, sign in using all laws, and put their stuff in a locker. This is our referral. So this is, if you're an agency, we would send you this referral, you fill it out with the youth, they sign it off, you give us their phone number. We do ask that you do a release of information with them, and it just allows us to collaborate to best serve the youth. Next slide. Services offered, we foster leadership for the youth. We do self-advocacy, life skills, education. These are tools that we help them develop well at the program. We have shower, laundry, and kitchen, accessing food pantries, setting and achieving personal goals. We do group outing, educational workshops, supportive groups, transportation support, referrals to community agencies. We offer peer support from trained personal individuals with lived experience, employment services, housing linkage, health navigation, groups, computer lab, supportive services. All that will be gone through later in the presentation. Next slide. This is our front door. We have a ring doorbell just in case we're closed. Members can push the ring doorbell, still leave a message, phone number, try to book an appointment. When you come into the center, staff will greet our members and they'll be asked to sign in and out. Staff will assess them with filling out a visitor log, and then from the visitor log, we can determine what they want to work on. And then from there, either make an appointment or we can get it done that same day, depends on how busy we got that day. Next slide. This is what the center looks like. So right when you come in, this is our living room area. That's a staff desk. We have the classes throughout the day on the whiteboard, what time is closed. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Next slide. This is our computer lab. We have a co-located room that Interface can borrow, BCBH can borrow. So you can reserve the room to meet with the youth if you don't have a room to. Resources throughout the wall. So depending on what the youth is coming in for, we can direct them to the wall. If they're coming in for housing, they're coming in for employment, if they're coming in for just financial assistance, LGBTQ. So it really just depends on what they're coming in for. We can help direct them to, or they can just look around and take whatever they need. Next slide. A wall of light or wall of shadow. This is where our youth can express themselves creatively. Light, the wall of light is hopeful, inspirational, things that everything on these walls are painted by our youth or written by our youth. The wall of shadow is struggling, it's dark, it's a little less happy. All right, next slide. This is also the wall of shadow area. It's our lounge area and our board game area. Members can utilize everything that's in there, the foosball table, the board games, and they can use them while they're here and just put everything up. And then our restrooms are gender neutral. We have pads, tampons, condoms in both restrooms. They can take as much as they need. And this, those stuff are donated to us as well. Next slide. Our kitchen, conference room, creative expression room, all the art on the walls in the creative expression room have been done by our members. Next slide. Our music area, this is new. This is, members were excited when we got this. We got the electric keyboard, we got a drum, we got guitars. I don't know what these are called. Bongos. So, that's very popular. I mean, I'm no expert, I will try, but that's an area that's new to the center, it's donated. Next slide. our shower, our washer and dryer. Everything for the shower and washer and dryer is provided by the center. It is purchased through the petty cash that we have on site. So it breaks down the barriers for you to be able to have clean clothes, be clean for our interview. And we have care packages. Care packages were created back when the pandemic started. So things were donated to us, we purchased stuff, and this is stuff that they can take with them when they come to the center. Hey, I need shampoo, I need conditioner. So we provide that to them so we can break down the barrier for them to have that stuff when they go home. Next slide. What is peer support? Peer support is someone who has lived experience in mental health or substance. We work alongside them to navigate their goals with their caseworker, their therapist, any form of treatment. We're not there to replace it, we're there to help alongside it. And I'm going to pass it over to Cece.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for the invitation. So, I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the services that we offer a little bit more depth. If you have any questions, regarding them, feel free to let me know. And we'll be going over them briefly. So one of our key classes is the BHAB, which is a voluntary recovery action plan class. In its essence, it's a workbook that our team work alongside our peer partners to create. It's a roadmap that they develop for their own individual wellness. This is a tool that they can share with their supporters that can help them bounce back from a crisis situation. This is a tool that is ever evolving with them. And it's something that they can use alongside traditional clinical support as well. At our program, we do have two health navigators, which is Jessica, Jess Rodriguez, and myself. We follow the for them, with them, by them model. And the premises of health navigation is to help our youth get connected to a primary care provider. So we assist from identifying health insurance if they don't have it, getting connected to a primary care provider, teaching them how to set up appointments, if an individual struggles with being able to wait in the waiting room on their own. We work with them and teach them tools and techniques that they can use to come and effectively wait. We can help with labs, pharmacy refills. Big part that our members absolutely really appreciate is the transportation. You know, transportation tends to be difficult depending on where they're at in the county. So we do have a company vehicle that we utilize for transportation for these purposes. Next slide. Along with the primary healthcare aspect of it and the preventative care, we also we focus on other health aspects like nutritional health. We do also help individuals explore substance education if it's something that's identified that they struggle with, or if they share that somebody within their household struggles with as well. We do provide access to resources that they can utilize. So unfortunately, we do not have housing on site, but we do provide housing linkage. We have access to the homeless management information system. So we're able to input individuals into the system who are experiencing homelessness or are at risk of homelessness, excuse me. We also do direct referrals to housing providers as well. For those individuals who do have income and are just struggling with finding a place or maintaining a place, we do things like financial literacy and budgeting. And we also help with breaking down the barriers. We understand sometimes, work hours gets cut, maybe they need to pay their phone bills in order to help them and help them with hiding supplies or clothing for work, whatever area that we can help with. For job preparation, we have one of our staff is named as an employment specialist, and she does everything from career exploration to job retention. She can help with getting connected back to schools. That's something they would like, whether it's completing their high school diploma or looking into higher education. She also helps individuals get linked to other employment services like the Department of Rehabilitation and the the return works or resource center.
Next slide.
As Vanessa was saying, we do have access to petty cash. For our individuals to be eligible for, they do have to be a member. And this is a process, it's not always guaranteed that they will immediately get it, depending on what they're requesting. So that's one of the reasons why we have the other things in place, like our clothing closet and our hygiene supplies and stuff on hand. Next slide. Another great tool that we utilize in the center is the self-management and recovery training, which is smart training. And this focuses on an addiction recovery services. It has a 4-point program that focuses on building and maintaining motivation, coping with urges, matching thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and living a balanced life. This is one of those programs that is scientific based. It's not necessarily meant as a replacement for NA or AA. It can be used in conjunction with NA and AA and other services that might be beneficial to an individual. The whole purpose is to maintain the sobriety and help the individual come out of whatever addiction they're dealing with. Narcan. So we do have Narcan available at our center. So the Narcan is provided by trained staff to any of our kids that walk in through doors who either express themselves that if they are struggling with addiction or that they have friends or loved ones that struggle with addiction. So we do provide the kits for them. We do provide overdose prevention information, and we walk them through how to utilize the kit and stuff as well. So our outreach efforts, so we go from different community resource fairs to school events. We try to get out to all the high school open houses. And we'll go out and do presentations at different organizations, either in person or virtually. We also participate in community meetings as well. So anywhere that we can get ourselves into to provide resources for members, that's where we're at. Next slide. So as Vanessa was saying, our program is peer run and peer driven. So all of these past events and the upcoming events have all been either suggested by our members or in K Council or have been brought up to staff. So some of the examples are the Chase Bank savings and budgeting one, the Planned Parenthood. These are all topics that our members have brought up. We also have some more like the like an ice cream social, just somebody decided that was a great day to have ice cream during the summer, so. Models of privates and everything that we did a while back. Not too long ago, we had a member say that they wanted a tea party, so we had a tea party for Valentine's Day, just to kind of promote self-love and friendship. Our upcoming ones are the Getty Museum, which is coming up in June 6th. And then finally this year, after a long waited time, we'll bring back our summer barbecue in July. So we used to have an annual barbecue, so it's coming back. Next slide. So as we were saying before, we do depend on a lot of on our community donations. There are things that our members kind of come in and they need immediately, you know, especially for those who are homeless or struggling financially. You know, sometimes having that pair of pants and those new shoes for the interview that they just got to call for in an hour, you know, is the difference between them finding that job and continue to struggle. So we do have individuals from the community that donate clothes. We also have individuals like the Oxford Monday Club, Lions Club, Chase Bank, Bank of America, and Linkas who donate other items like hygiene supplies and care items as well too. So if you would like to help us make a difference in our youth lives, you're more than welcome to explore some of our avenues for donations. So here is our contact information. Again, we're more than welcome to answer any questions if you have any. If you think of any other questions after the meeting, feel free to give us a call or send an email. Thank you so much for having us. Yes, of course. Okay, questions for Vanessa or Susie or anyone? Okay. Diane?
Thank you very much I saw the do community outreach, but specifically, what is the outreach to East County? I see that most of the activities in the Tate Tunnel is here, so how do East County, teenagers or those that in need get here?
So we do provide transportation for individuals from anywhere in the county to come to the center. Our end goal is for self-sufficiency, so we can do, bus training. We know that it is a mission to get from East County all the way over here, so we do our best to break down that barrier for them to provide transportation here.
Do you do the open houses at those high schools, like Simi Valley High School and Oak Park High School and some of the places that are further away?
If we're invited, yes. Most of
Okay,
the schools have reached out to us, and that's how we build a partnership. If you have a connection, I'll be happy to reach out to them, but right now we don't have that connection to the high schools.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Cheryl.
Well, just following up, because that kind of related, Diane's question kind of related to mine. What about the community colleges? What's your involvement with them? They all have health centers on campus and we know they have many students who are homeless. And my second question is, how many of your participants are homeless?
So as for the partnership with the community colleges, we do have a contact with the student resource centers at both Oxford and Ventura College. I know that there's a resource fair coming up this year that we will be attending at Oxford College. I believe last year we attended one in Ventura College as well too. So we have yet to receive any invitations from more part yet, but we are more than open to definitely partner with them, go out there.
And for the homeless, I don't have that number off the top of my head. I wouldn't want to guess on it, but I can definitely get it for you guys.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead. On that part, the homeless part, are you able to connect those particular young people right away with some kind of a housing service or resource?
So I'm not too sure how familiar with the housing resources here in Ventura County, but there is currently no TAY specific emergency shelter for TAY in our county. We do try to partner closely with individuals like Interface, but I know even their services are very limited. So unfortunately, we do end up a lot of times with our young adults not having a place to go when they do come across being homeless with no other support. So that is something that we really do need to continue to highlight and advocate for in our county is true emergency shelter services for our transitional age youth.
Nancy, did you have a question? I wonder if, in the referral process, do people need to be connected to behavioral health to be referred?
No, they just have to be the ages of 18, between 18 and 25 and wanting to participate in our programs.
That new program that's being developed or about to open in a few months at Oxnard with shelter and housing, and it's a very big deal. Are you guys eligible to have any set aside just for TAY in that population, or what do you think?
Is it the one with Mercy's House?
Yes.
That one? We have little partnership with Mercy's House. We do refer people there through HMIS. So hopefully, I'm sure that collaboration will come once they're up and running. Definitely. Yeah, we're never opposed to collaboration. We're really big on that. Yeah.
On my one more. Oh, right then.
And how much work do you do with justice involved youth and young adults? Whether it's through juvenile court system or adult criminal system?
So we do go out when we do get calls from either the child room jail or juvenile hall. We will go out to meet with individuals. Our members and participants that are coming are pretty open with us when they do have some sort of involvement in law enforcement. We always encourage them to provide release of information for probation officers to give us a call so we can share with them and collaborate with them on the wonderful work that they do. So I don't have any numbers, but we do get quite a few individuals who are our listeners as well.
Can I add to that? We used to actually go out and follow the road.
Can you finish one? Thank you so much. Thank you.
So just to add to CC and Vanessa, Herman Cortez, Corporate Director of Community Integration Services at City Linux. So we used to actually have a relationship with Todd Road. We did rap plans with the kids, but since the pandemic, I think we want to rekindle that relationship. And I'm happy to say that the Board Corrections Facility, SCC, actually just gave Pacific Clinics a 3-year grant. We actually, in LA County, we actually use employment as a way to actually get people who have been incarcerated on probation to actually link with mental health services using employment. It's called IPS. It's an evidence-based practice. And so I'm actually happy to share that as an agency. We actually received that grant and we're doing that, piloting that actually in LA County. I can give you, we did our annual report. And what's the great thing about it is a lot of our youth, transition age youth who has been incarcerated, who have been in and out of the hospital or in homeless support, they oftentimes deny that they don't have mental illness until they get their basic needs met, right, and find employment. And so they finally come back to us and say, hey, you know what? My probation officer is right, they need mental health services. So we actually use that intervention, employment intervention, to connect them to mental health services, DCFS, Department of Rehab and other things. I can actually provide you with our outcomes report. At the end, we're actually wrapping up our first fiscal year, so I can give you the statistics on this. Thank you.
Okay, Herman, I see some heads bobbing up and down. Yes, please, if you could supply us with that. And obviously, we're concerned about LA County, but certainly more so Ventura County. So any information that you can give us that would be linkage in Ventura County, that would be really relevant and appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, yes, Cheryl and then Liz.
Just quickly, is your funding primarily from the county? You're primarily county funded. Okay, thanks.
So I'm just taking a personal moment here because I have known Cece and Vanessa and Javier, who's over at the tunnel, for 17 years. The three of us have been here from the very, very beginning in the implementation of the Mental Health Services Act within the department, and the Tate Tunnel staff, both Vanessa and Cece being part of them, were extremely instrumental in the early days of MHSA advocacy and how that money should be spent, where it should be spent. They were involved with the health and design of the wellness center that we did, the crisis residential treatment facility, the MHRC. The individual specific clinics are tremendous community partners because it is a peer-run, peer-led program. I cannot emphasize that enough. The reason they have the success that they do and the reason that the space has grown the way that it has is because they come from behavioral health services with the recovery model. And the tremendous success that they've had it's just unbelievable when you have time to spend with their members to see what their personal journeys have been and how the Tate Tunnel has been there to walk the journey with them. Herman has been an invaluable resource to those at the client network, especially with the implementation of CalAIM and the certification of your support specialists. So I just want to publicly acknowledge all the hard work that you do and how much you mean to me as another nonprofit that is peer-led, peer-run. So thank you so much for your great work. I appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you, Liz. Okay, one more question, then we have to. Just real quick, you talked about people that are in the justice system coming out from it, but what if someone's a victim? Do you talk to the Family Justice Center? How do you refer someone who might be a victim that comes to you?
So individuals that come through our doors will do the tour like we do. We sit down, we get to know them. What do you want to work on? So based on those themes, if they disclose to us that they are a victim, we then help them learn about the resources in the community. We'll call with them. They can make the appointments there to meet with their caseworker, social worker, care coordinator, whatever it may be. We try to learn it as they do. We may not be the experts in it, but we will definitely learn with them. So they're not in it alone.
Okay, so maybe a connection with the Justice Center would be helpful, because that is supposed to provide one stop for victims of sexual trafficking, or a lot of things that they can get mixed up in, so. We're tangled in, that's a term we're not mixed up, taken advantage of.
Yes, we'll appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so, well, first of all, let's give them a round of applause. You here and happy for our youth. So important, and we appreciate very much your time and effort coming out today. If anyone has any questions, please email please email myself and CC Jackie, and we'll get them to you, or email, Vanessa, CC, Herman, or Javier, directly, and, we'll get the answers that you seek, and we appreciate, your time and effort again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have, all right, next, chair announcements. On a personal note, I wanted to thank everyone for your well wishes and kind thoughts. For last month, my daughter had a critical illness out of state, and I had to take a month's leave, and I want to thank Michael Rodriguez for pitch hitting and for your valuable presentation last month. I appreciate it very much. See, I also wanted to mention that next, that we will be having a nominating committee, which is on the agenda announcement in a few minutes, and that per our bylaws, the announcement of the nominating committee happens in April. So I did have some other announcements, but we have a full agenda today, and so I think I'll defer those until next month, or provide you with a written report. All right, so next we have our director's report, Dr. Lizzie. Oh, wait, data, oh yeah, we changed to data. Before. No, it's after director's report. So Janice. Yes.
Just so, I want to make sure I didn't miss something. Did we cover, the 30-day posting? I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I must.
Okay, yeah. So, next we have the director's report with interim director, Dr. Loretta Denton.
Thank you, Janet. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. We have our director's report attached in the packet. Just wanted to call to your attention a couple of items, some very exciting things we have going on. One, I wanted to congratulate our substance use team on presenting at the National Prescription Drug and Illicit Drug Summit, just this past month in Atlanta. We had our very own Dr. Velasquez, our SUD medical director, along with our chief medical examiner, Dr. Young, and one of our overdose prevention coordinators, Ashley Nettles, presented on our county's collaborative approach. There were over 100 attendees across the country, and we've gotten a lot of feedback as far as folks adapting some of our innovative strategies, including our prescriber care series, which we will be continuing on this year, where we have our local experts focusing really on our prescribers, our physicians, nurse practitioners, on the importance of prescribing for opioid use disorder. So we're very excited about that, and it's nice to have a national platform. We usually attend every year and have some sort of presentation. We've had previous years focused on our law enforcement interventions, and so we're very excited to be back this year to present. Also wanted to call your attention to the CBHDA handout. I had the privilege of attending our CBHDA Lobby Day this year. It was the first back in-person lobby day this year. It was jam-packed. It was very well organized. All the legislators were really responsive. I had 5 meetings throughout the day. Where's my list? With Senator Lumen, Assemblymember Bennett, Assemblymember Irwin, Senator Stern from LA County, and Assemblymember Alvarez from San Diego County. Like I said, a jam-packed day of meetings. It was great. We basically talked about all of the things on, the leave behind packet, focusing on the large implementation slide. So I wanted you all just to have that to your attention. These are all of the various initiatives that county behavioral health are, implementing right now, all at the same time. And it's a lot. Any given year, typically, you would have one or two of these would be a multi-year approach with like all hands on deck. And right now, we're doing everything all at once. So obviously, there are concerns as far as, workforce, being able to manage the number of initiatives that we have. The bulk of these initiatives are unfunded mandates, so obviously funding was a huge question mark from some of the legislature. And then obviously the implementation of Prop 1 and what that does to all of this and how it kind of relates to everything on the document. So please go through, if you have any questions, let me know. We talk about most of these initiatives regularly. There's updates on everything in the packet today related to CARE Act, SB 43, administrative integration. So if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out. And the only other update, I provided a brief update during last week's executive meeting, which it was very short. We unfortunately didn't have a quorum, but I was asked about the board item about Vista Del Mar, so I just wanted to provide an update there. That we did receive their responses to the findings last week, and I am in the process of reviewing their findings. So that's where we are with the process. So any questions?
Thank you so much. So, under Adult Services Division, the hiring for the additional peer support specialists, that's great. Really good news. We'll end up with 19. How many of those will be medical health certified?
So the goal is to get them all eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
So do we have any now in the department that are medical health certified?
I believe we do. John nodding his head, yes.
John,
So
where are you now? We do. How many?
And it's everybody who has taken the training, passed test, is certified.
so I'll repeat that. So again, the goal is to have everyone that we end up onboarding certified. So we were recipients, as you all are aware, of the Cal Mesa certification program. So we were able to give out scholarships through the department so that the folks we onboard did not have to incur the cost of the training and the certification process with the state. So that was great. So we're still going through that. Not everyone who's been hired has been certified yet. That's why there are various levels of the peer specialist classification. We get folks in at the 1, and then they can progress through the series to the 3.
Okay, thank you.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
Thank you. Yeah, I look forward to reading through that lobby day report. There's so much content in there. But I just want to ask about, I noticed in the quality division section, there is a utilization review board or that should go through and review the utilization of the county and other stakeholders. I just wanted to ask if this is something that could be presented maybe at the adult services committee. I was thinking.
Sure.
And we have a meeting coming up. Well, it's too soon for the next one, but the one after that, I thought this was good.
Sure, so we can do an overview of our quality care, managed care operations where this piece falls so that you have a complete picture of like the functions, but we can do that.
Sounds good, thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello, Dr. Denner, thanks again for a great report.
Yeah.
I don't want to be overly myopic, but I'm a veteran representative. I would be curious to ask with the passage and the very narrow passage of Prop 1. I'd be very interested, I know there's a lot of question marks as to when the money's coming, how it's being used. If there could be maybe a heading on your report that just includes whatever portion of that $1 billion is supposed to be directed toward veterans is going to be directed to be used or ideas.
Sure, once we get that information, we will gladly include it.
Be awesome.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Dr. Denny, thank you for your point. I'm just curious about, again, to Prop 1. Do we know what our county's portion of the take back is?
Great question. We do not. Again, once we get all of that information, I will be glad to include it.
Big number. Yeah. Genevieve, go ahead.
Scoot over here, hi. So I had, well, one, thank you for the inclusion of the lobby day, packet. I think, having tracked those pieces of legislation, myself as well. Glad that you were up there and that the association was up there. One question on that piece that I had, given that a lot of the mandates aren't funded, and I know that question from legislators always happens, like, how are you gonna fund it? Is there a complementary, like, budget, piece to this? Did any of them have recommendations, or were they looking to y'all for those recommendations?
Yes, the latter.
And just very much, that they are in support of whatever it is we need as far as rolling it out. And however they can in their legislative authorities support us, whether it's through trailer bills, cleanup bills, you know, things like that. But there was a lot of listening on there and not a whole lot of recommendations or suggestions. That's how it goes. Yeah, and then I had a follow-up question. I'm gonna hop on the Prop 1 train that we all are really interested in.
Yeah.
And I also recognize how hard quorum has been for some of our committees, but I wonder if maybe like there could be a Prop 1 work group from the BHAB so that we can keep folks informed or up to date or support any way that we can. I know I'd like to be a part of it, and I don't know what other counties are doing as far as including their BHAB, their respective BHABs and Prop 1 rollout or updates. Yep, so that's later in the agenda. To talk about that. Oh, good.
Thank you, Dr. Jenner. You're welcome. Would you like to take over? Okay, thank you so much for mentioning that. And yeah, we have it listed as the BHSA, MHSA work group, but the chair may want to change it to Prop 1 / I don't know, we'll discuss it, but and that would be included in our efforts, hopefully. So thank you so much, Dr. Jenner. We appreciate it. Are there any other questions? All right. Next on our agenda is the data notebook, and I want to thank Liz Warren for taking this on. It's a very, very big project, and we appreciate your efforts. And also, I want to thank BCBH, Dr. Dennery, and her team, amazing staff. The data notebooks cannot be done without the input from the department. And so, with the lead of the data notebook liaising with the department. So just wanted to give those two thank yous, and I'm going to hand it over to Liz Warren now. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Denner, I think if anybody asks you about one, you should say, we'll tell you when the state knows what they're doing, because they don't know what they're doing up there yet. Thanks, everybody. It's nice to be back. I've been on leave for 2.5 months, and so I think I just want to make a public comment that normally this would have been finished a few months ago, but because of things that I was not in control of, that's why it happened now. So I think I just wanted to say a few things about the data notebook to put it in context for folks that may not be there. But the California Behavioral Health Planning Council, in collaboration with the California Association of Local Behavioral Health Boards and Commissions, puts together the data notebook. And the Planning Council is under federal and state mandates to advocate on behalf of adults with severe mental illness and mental health challenges, behavioral health challenges, and children with severe emotional disturbances and their families. And it's a statutory requirement that we do this. And our reporting duty exists under the Welfare Institutions Code. So this is something that happens now on a regular basis. And back in 2019, they broke it into two parts, part 1, part 2. Part 1 is pretty straightforward numbers and data that they're asking from all the counties to provide to them, because they have to then turn around and send it all up to the state. And every year there's a theme in part 2 that's added to part 1. This year's theme was stakeholders. And so what I want to do, because this is what they're thinking, is I just want to read you the Welfare Institution Code that outlines what stakeholders are, just so that people know what we're talking about when we say stakeholders. So this is under Cal Code Regs, Title 9, subsection 3200.270. Stakeholders means individuals or entities with an interest in mental health services in the state of California, including but not limited to individuals with serious mental illness and or serious emotional disturbance and or their families, providers of mental health and or related services such as physical health care and or social services, educators and or representatives of education, representatives of law enforcement, and any other organization that represents the interests of individuals with serious mental illness and or serious emotional disturbance and or their families. And so if you had a chance to look this over, you'll see that they asked us, do we have stakeholders from those outlined in the code? But then also there's been additional stakeholder groups that have been outlined, but that aren't coded, if that makes sense. So we do have that and many more. The one thing I would say about Ventura County is that we do have a diverse representation from all of the stakeholder groups that are outlined by statute and also that we've added. And so I always feel good about that whenever we're talking to people from other counties or other folks that are on other boards or commissions. This was something that came in a bit of a different format this year, but was pretty straightforward. I worked very closely with Dr. Schiffer and the other division chiefs and their staffs to get all this information. They did the heavy lifting on this because they're the ones that really have access to this information. And so I'm very grateful to them for assisting me in getting this taken care of. I just want to make one public comment that question 17, there is an edit that was done. It is where it says that input is provided in person to the Youth Behavioral Health Advisory Board. That actually should read BHAB Youth and Family Committee. I just wanted to let you know that. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you.
All right, this is an action item, and I will be asking for a motion to approve. But does anyone have any questions for Liz about the data notebook or related? All right, well, thank you again, Liz. We appreciate your efforts. And that was, yeah, it was a huge project and a daunting project actually, but something that we do every year and you know, like Liz mentioned, it's a different theme. So I would like to know if anyone would like to make a motion to approve the data notebook, please.
I move to approve the data notebook. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. I just want to say, for those of you that may not be aware, Michael sits on the board, the state board, just FYI. So it's nice that we have representation from Ventura County as part of this overall process as well. Thank you, Michael.
You still need a second?
Yes, we need a second. Thank you. Second. Any questions, comments, or discussion? I'm hearing none. Would you do a roll call, please, James?
Sure. All right, Nancy Borcher,
Yes.
Kevin Clarici,
Yes.
James Espinoza, abstain. Genevieve Flores Haro,
Yes.
Cheryl Heitman,
Yes.
CJ Keaveney,
Yes.
Melanie Barufo,
Abstain.
Diane McKay,
Yes.
Jennifer Morrison,
Yeah.
Sean Pusey,
Yes.
Dahlia Robkin,
Yes.
Michael Rodriguez,
Yes.
Chris Tejeda,
Yes.
Liz Warren,
Yes.
Janice Gardner.
Yes. Okay, motion passes and we appreciate we appreciate your participation and thank you all for, I wanted to mention, thank you all for coming today. And also I wanted to mention to our attendees in the room and those on Zoom, we appreciate your participation. So thank you very much. All right, next on the agenda is the nominating committee. And our Behavioral Health Advisory Board bylaws state that in April, the announcement of the nominating committee will be done. And I wanted to say thank you to the participants. And the nominating committee is Nancy Borchard, Kevin Clarici, and Liz Warren. The nominating committee will be taking emails or phone calls from anyone on this board who would like to run for office. That being the chair, the first vice chair, the second vice chair, and board secretary. Member at large is also on the executive committee, however, that is will be it's not a nomination, they'll be appointed by the chair, whoever the chair is. And also there is a member at large, and that is the preceding chairperson, should they be voted in and approved. So they will also.
No, chair emeritus.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
At large.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, thank you, Chair Emeritus. So if anyone, the requirement would be to, stay involved in the BHAB, obviously, and to be able to attend the executive committee on the third Monday of every month. And you would become an officer, and it is a
Second Monday.
second Monday. I'm so sorry. I don't have my notes in front of me. I should know this off the top of my head. Yeah, the second Monday of every month. And so that would be, you would have the BHAB general meeting, the executive committee meeting, and a committee meeting, which is also a requirement of the BHAB per our bylaws. So if you can do that and want to serve, this board in this leadership capacity, please let Nancy Borcher is going to be the chair of the nominating committee. And Nancy, would you like to give us your email, please?
Sure. It's Nancy B, the letter B, Somis, SOMIS, at AOL.com.
Okay, great. And if you could let Nancy know by May 6th. And in May, the nominating committee will be giving the BHAB the proposed slate of officers. And in May, we will also be taking nominations from the floor, should anyone want to run for an office that is not on the slate. And in June, we will be voting for either the slate of officers or the slate of officers and anyone else who has put their name up or has been nominated for the floor. And then that'll be it. And then we'll have our a new leadership, or I should say collaborative leadership with our board. And I want to say for myself personally, what a pleasure it is to have worked with all of you and facilitated these meetings. And I really hope that you consider running for office. That's it for the nominating committee. Okay, are there any questions?
Is the executive, I know this is kind of baked in, the time and date, is the executive committee baked in the time of day? Leave it up, can the executive committee change the time of day?
As long as there's staff that can, so I would say that if anyone is on the executive committee and you decide you'd like to change it, it has to be, we would want to collaborate with Dr. Dinnering and her staff to make sure that there's staff available. That would be the only caveat. Okay, there's nothing in the bylaws that says anything about what day and what time. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on now to the committee reports. All right, first we have Adult Services Committee, Chris Tejeda.
Thank you. Yeah, so we met back in March and we had a good meeting. We had updates from Adult Services from Dr. Schiffer, as well as our substance use update from Jessica Davis. And that went really well. I apologize, I don't have my notes in front of me, but the main topics we discussed was the care court and how that will be implemented coming in the new calendar year. So it was a really great discussion and we learned a lot. We had some really good notes from Dr. Schiffer, as well as Michael Rodriguez, provided some good information as well. And some things to see, we discussed kind of like how it was done in LA, and I personally had these assumptions that with CareCourt, we're gonna have a big surplus of, or a big, larger demand of behavioral clients that will be coming in. But as we learned through our discussion, based on the findings of LA County and some other counties that have begun the first group of 7 who were part of the initial implementation program, the utilization to date is much less than everybody had predicted. So that being said, we don't know how it will work in Ventura County, but it was just interesting to have that discussion and yeah, just a great time. So I encourage everybody who wants to join, please join us. We meet the first Thursday of every other month. So our next meeting will be in May. So look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it very much. Okay, next, Kevin, and I wanted to say thank you, Kevin, for stepping up to be a member of the nominating committee too. I know you're all very busy and we appreciate your advocacy and thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Youth and family met last week. I'm actually glad.
Somebody's mic is on, somebody's buzzing. Oh, well, actually, we should use that. Yeah. 'Cause it's-
Youth and family met last week. I think the timing is nice. We actually had a presentation about the wellness centers. I'm glad Pacific Clinics was with us here today, sort of addressing what's with the TAE group. But the wellness centers is really aimed at youth. This is both in middle schools and high schools. And I know there's been a lot of discussion about it, but it's worth reiterating. I see Chris Ridge on the panel here. He gave the presentation. A couple of the highlights that certainly that stood out with me that I think are worth addressing is this a program that continues to expand. I was excited when there's now a wellness center on 69 campuses, which 64 schools, excuse me, which is a great improvement. Again, these are dedicated spaces on campus for students, for peers, run by peers, really aimed at trying to be a safe space, but also a space where students, if they're experiencing a mental health challenge, can talk about it and frankly get some referrals. And I think that's an area they tracked and I wanted to kind of share because I think a couple of stats stood out with me. Across those 64 schools, there were 80,000 visits. And a visit can be duplicate, meaning a student can come multiple times, but 80,000 visits to these different wellness centers. And of that, over 2,000 students ultimately were enrolled in mental health program. I think it's worth repeating. Over 2,000 students that probably would not have otherwise been in the system through the wellness centers on campus were able to get connected. In addition, among those, from the stats we had, over 130 were assessed as having a serious and disturbing situation, which again, from my lens, is a big reason that these centers are there, because it's creating an access point that may not have otherwise existed, or home life doesn't allow for it. Just like with the takedown mall, I think these resources for young people are incredible. So that really stuck with me as well. But I think it's also worth mentioning at the same time that is over 2,000 additional youth on the county youth program, and the youth services that we oversee and that this county oversees. I know Cheryl's here and I want to thank her. This is the Youth and Family Division Chief who comes to give us our update. But I think we want to acknowledge that as well, because the demand continues to grow at this times at all levels. So I think it's something that we're discussing at the community level, and we're trying to, sort of diligent about making sure that the Youth and Family Division feels like it also has the support it needs to provide the services countywide to all these young people in our community. Wrapping up, I will say, at the community level, we also discussed a kind of commitment to continue to look at how Prop 1 is going to affect the Youth and Family Division. Again, that's I think is relevant for every committee and every component of the behavioral health division. And we, looking ahead, our next meeting, we're looking at possibly having a presentation from Gold Coast Healthcare, which is increasingly playing a role in the Youth and Family Committee. And I think as a whole, the committee members, applaud them. We've tried to sort of frame much of our discussion through this lens of how we can have more equitable and access to younger people and make it easier for families and to access it and know how to. Because there's so many different programs and so many different ways that young people and families are trying to get services, and it's not always seamless or easy to understand. So that's my report from the Youth and Family Committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Everyone.
Yes, yeah.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Kevin, can I ask you a question? And not, you probably don't know it, but the answer, but, when young people are, and their families are trying to access care, one of the things we often hear is that it takes a really long time. Do you know the time frame from seeking help to getting help?
I don't. It'd be a case by case basis. My assumption at the presentation, the on campus, if that's what you're asking, through the wellness centers, they have trained, specialized on campus individuals that are making direct referrals to the county system. So it certainly is implied that they're taking it serious and making it, but I don't know in terms of how quickly that happens.
Any other questions for Kevin? Thank you very much. All right, next we have board member comments and announcements. Do any of our board members have any announcements or comments? And I know that James does. Go ahead, James.
I'm not sure which announcement you know that I don't know that I have. That's exactly what I was going to come here. Good. That meeting, that event has been canceled. The May 18th event that we're planning for, too many moving parts. We've been approached by MHSA and actually Suicide Prevention Council and I can't remember that organization's name at this point, but too many moving parts. We've deferred it to maybe November later this year or May of next year. Both of those months coincide with Veteran Month. So November being Veterans Day, the month of Veterans Day is held, and May being a Veteran Appreciation Month or Military Appreciation Month. So I'll keep everybody posted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead. Diane?
Thank you. I had to miss this meeting last month because I was at the strategic meeting for the East County Family Justice Center. And I just wanted to say we had a really productive meeting, had folks in to really kind of focus on what the justice centers do, why we have them, and where it is, what part of the county is kind of a data-driven decision that the DA's office is working on right now, but it is really critical. And we're looking forward to the Carmen Ramirez Center opening, you know, hopefully early next year, and then something in East County, not too long after that. So it was a really productive meeting. Sorry, I had to miss this meeting to do it, but it was a great day.
Thanks for reporting out, Diane. Any other board member comments? Oh, yes. Go ahead. DJ.
Thank you. Last month, there was an announcement and directed to General, Interim Director General say about a fund for $2.6 million was awarded through the Board of Supervisors. And it was to have 15 individuals to help answer the homeless problem. And it was between the Sheriff's Department as well as behavioral health and some other social services. The breakdown was 10 sheriff's offices and 5 people to work with the homeless people. that, ever since I read that, I was somewhat bothered that that was an imbalance. That it seems that we need to have a greater number of people working in social services to answer the problem. I don't think it's something that we can, law enforcement, enforce our way out of the problem. And I'm just wondering, how can we answer that and see if there can be some reconsideration of the balance of how the funds are spent?
Everyone's like, so I would say these are, so that was a result of a board action. So, you know, this would go to the board supervisors. The breakdown in the, board letter shows the breakdown where the positions are and the justification for the positions. And so I would encourage you, if you have comments or feedback, to submit them to your board member.
Okay. Thank you, CJ, for those comments. Any other board comments? I have a board comment. I just wanted to say thank you to Jackie, first of all, for printing out all of these documents, a lot of work. And we are coming up to under new business and old business coming up, but I did want to mention that anyone who's interested in joining the BHSA, MHSA / Prop 1 work group later on the agenda, please read the Mental Health Services Act annual update for the fiscal year 2003-2024. Even though this timeline is 2024, it's good to just, you know, apprise ourselves of what this is all about. Even though it's changing and there'll be a plethora of changes, right? Once Prop 1 is implemented in the state, lets us know what's going on. But just wanted to say thank you because that was a lot of work and effort made. So that's that. All right, any other board comments? All right, let's move on. All right, next, request for TAG committee chairperson. The TAG committee chairperson resigned and we will be looking, or we are looking, and have been looking this past month for another chairperson to take over the TAG committee. Jackie, can you tell us when TAG meets, please? I think there's a meeting, or was a meeting this month.
Yes, I don't know. So the TAG committee meeting meets bi-monthly, every fourth Wednesday. So the next meeting would technically be April 24th of this month, and then the next one would be in June, the fourth Wednesday. So it's bi-monthly as of right now. If we don't have a chair, we will cancel the April meeting. If we do have a chair, they can let me know if they feel comfortable having this meeting on April 24th. I'm more than happy to do that. And if not, we can always make it in June.
Okay, so is anyone interested in chairing the TAG committee?
So, hi, so I have a good question because I'm trying to figure out if this is necessary for right now. Because we literally have a meeting this month, which I'm not sure how productive it will be, and then there's one before the end of the fiscal year. So I would want to find out in the last meeting's minutes, what old business still remains to be done. If there's nothing that the committee has to actually do, I recommend that we just hold off. Have somebody step up, we work with them to get them to become chair, and then they begin the new fiscal year with kind of a clean slate, their new business agenda, whatever it is. But if there isn't business to wrap up, I'm not sure why we need to try to jam this in before the end of the fiscal year. What are your thoughts?
Okay, well, we're mandated by the Welfare and Institution Code to have the TAG committee, and it's been open for 2 months now, the lack of a chair. So I think that if anyone would be interested in chairing this committee, that we could, it can be their decision. I doubt very seriously if we'll have a TAG committee this month, I mean, take committee meeting this month. And so it would be, in June would be the next take committee meeting, so. But I would like to secure, if we can find someone that would be willing to take the time to share it. And then, then we'll take it from there. I appreciate your feedback, Liz. I don't know, if no one steps up, then we will cancel the meeting for this month, and we will ask every month until we get a chair. So I appreciate that. Sure, thank you. Go ahead, Nancy.
You said that we're mandated by the state to have this committee. It feels like we have too many committees. I'm just kind of opening a can of worms, but I've been contemplating this for a while. So sorry to bring it up. But it's something to think about. We have so many committees that meet, and there's no quorum. It takes staffing time here, which they don't have. And it takes time for those who are trying to be the chair to put it together. And then we don't have enough attendance. I wonder if we focused on adults and children. The population's pay is certainly a population, but they could be incorporated into the children's committee or to the adult committee, where I know that they're a special designation and they have special needs. And it's good if we've always had trouble, historically, as I'm speaking about this, having to take chair. Yeah. So it's never been an easy position to fill. I don't know why, but anyway, I just wonder if we should at some point have a good discussion about, or if it's required, then it's required. But it seems kind of pointless to have a requirement that doesn't get met. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see what everybody else thinks.
Let's see, we have some time. Why don't we just finish our business, and then I think we could circle back about this and maybe have a discussion about it. It has been a problem, ever since, since COVID. We used to have standing room only for not only the BHAB meetings, but for our committee meetings as well. I mean, sometimes the rooms upstairs weren't large enough to hold. So, I think that this could be a discussion. The problem is that it's in the welfare and institution code, I believe, that we have to have these committees, because we had, the Board of Supervisors adopted the bylaws, or gave us the bylaws pretty much, when the Mental Health Advisory Board and the Behavioral Health, Alcohol and Drug Advisory Board were combined. I don't remember if there was a committee at that point, maybe you remember, and then the Board of Supervisors gave us our bylaws, and we approved those bylaws. So, but I believe, and I thought I would ask Behavioral Health County Council, if, Marty, if you might take a look at that, because if we can combine some of our committee meetings, it would save staff time, it would save board time, as long as we can set our agendas and, get all of our work done. So that's my comment. If anyone has any input, please. Go ahead, Michael.
The only thing I do, I find it ironic that we're having a discussion about potentially dissolving the day committee on the day that we had.
That's true. It's not that population doesn't matter.
And
of course.
it's like, and I understand it's like, as far as folks having full plates, like, want things done, you get the busy people to show up, and that's who gets things done. And so,
I don't think it would be, we wouldn't dissolve this population. I know that, like, for instance, with prevention as well, we're very, very involved in the TAPE youth, and also youth and family. I don't know what the age of youth and family would be. I mean, is there an age, Kevin? Youth and family?
I would assume 17 or 18, but we'd be happy to have Tay. Tay's 18 to 25.
Right.
To me, it's more of an adult, but if there's I don't view this as a dissolution. I view it as a collaboration or combination that it would potentially combine with another community. We'd be happy to have.
Okay, so first of all, we have to find out, first of all, if anyone would chair and take the route. So we wouldn't even have to have this discussion, but, I think that if other board members, first of all, I think we need to find out what the welfare distribution code says. And then we can have a more informed discussion as to whether we could combine some of our committees, if that was agreeable to the chairs and other committee members, so. All right, go ahead, Dan.
Well, let's just finish this conversation. That's fine, sorry.
No, I'm glad you brought it up. All right. Okay, so, we have no volunteers as of this month, so thank you. All right, presentation requests. We have, the Ventura County Sheriff's Department coming up, next month in May. Would you like to say a couple of words about that, Sergeant Pusey?
Yeah, hi, unfortunately, I won't be able to make that one, but I've got two staff members from my team that's gonna speak about the therapeutic inmate management unit, which is based out of the Todd Road Jail facility. So they'll touch on how we handle those suffering from mental illness and programs, how many are involved and that type of stuff. So that'll be, we're looking forward to doing that next month.
Thank you. And James, you had an idea of someone who you might like to suggest to present. If you could send that to myself and CC Jackie, that might be the way to go. Any other presentation requests, you could just please send them to us and we'll talk about getting them in the queue. In June, we have the Valcor, and that's as far as we went, as far as presentations for this fiscal year.
Jen,
Yes.
so, do we have, because I just want to circle back, I know I've been gone, you may have already addressed this. Do we have a working list? I know we have May and June set, but when we start in July, new fiscal year, can we see the list of folks that are in the queue that you're talking about? So I know at one point that was being discussed, and I'm not sure that's been shared yet. If it has, I'll circle back to Jackie. If not, maybe we can make that available next month or something.
Yes, actually, Jackie did send out this list, but maybe we could send it out again. So we only booked as far as June, because I figured that the new chairperson or the new leadership committee, the executive committee would, and the new chair would want to have some input as to who would be presenting in the next few months. I have a couple of people that BHAB members had suggested, and I'll read those off if you'd like to know. Okay, we had a request for continuum of care. Okay, Public Defender's Office, thank you, Martha, you already presented this state forward today. So we have VCTC Caltrans, I think, Chris, wasn't that your request?
Yes, for the bridge over the 23, it's, we developed for suicide prevention, protection.
Okay. And maybe, I don't know if they actually need to do a full presentation, but we could certainly get an update for that. Okay. Okay, next on the queue was a crisis mobile team to get some updates about that. And that would be Dr. Dennering and her staff. All right, integrated of certified peers services within BCBH. That was another presentation that a BHAB member wanted. Then there's bridge housing. And that was another request. So VCTC crisis mobile team, integrated of certified peer services within BCBH and bridge housing. So those are the only ones that were in the queue. And I'll make sure that whoever the new chair is, starting July 1st, that they have this information.
Great, thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Okay, all right, recognition award recommendations. I know Nomi, we're working on something for Katie Bolton.
Right. You want to update us? So she's very, very busy at the moment. We're gonna try to work on getting it in the later one.
Okay.
putting everything together.
Okay, thank you. I also thought we might want to recognize Claudia Ahmed, because Claudia has been with the Behavioral Health Advisory Board, I believe, since, I don't even know when she joined, but, and has been an active member in the community and also, a very active member on our board, and I think that she deserves to be recognized, so I'd like to put her name in the, to be, recognized. Okay, now, under old business, MHSA/BHSA work group, it was kind of discussed here for a couple of months, and Chris Tejeda has very kindly agreed to put together, let's see, I think it'll be a Zoom, initial Zoom meeting. And so do you want to just say a few words, Chris?
Yes, so we'll just be getting together, and just a brief meeting of, very introductory level and just kind of, putting together all of the lists and the topics, things we want to focus on. I know there's so much going on with transition and everything coming through. So, the idea would be to get together and, outline some of these points and then, kind of get our thoughts together and prepare a series of questions that we could then bring to Dr. Denring or bring to the county and kind of get some feedback. We know a lot of things are they're too soon to really know how they'll be implemented, how they'll be rolled out, how they'll be funded, but we just kind of want to keep that discussion going. We thought Zoom might be the easiest way to do this, so we're looking at setting up a time in the probably late afternoon and maybe just an hour long or so. We also want to keep this very focused and be respectful of everybody's time. So we'll be doing our initial meeting, and then I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of reading in the background to try to gather our thoughts and put things together before we present that to the county, Dr. Denring, and get some feedback for that. So we don't have a time or date set yet, but we will be doing that. And anybody interested, of course, just let us know. So, thank you.
Genevieve, you had mentioned prompt 1, so I don't know if you want to add that to the title so that people might have a better idea of what, because and this may go on, work groups have a beginning and a sunset. They have a beginning and an end. So it won't go on ad infinitum, but I imagine that it's going to be quite some time before we'll be able to, we can certainly work and get our feet wet and follow the laws and see what's coming down each month. And Dr. Denring, we appreciate your input. And I did have a conversation with Dr. Denring, and she said that she would provide someone from staff when we're ready to come in and keep us apprised of the latest. So, all right, so thank you. Thank you for putting that together.
Thank you.
All right, so next up, we have contracts. We have a lot of contracts that the Board of Supervisors have approved. They approved them on March 26, 2024. And the first is 2024-25, First Amendment with Performance Standard Agreement with the California Department of DHCS related to MHSA. And the Lateran Petra Short LPS. Projects for Assistance in Transition from Homeless, which is the PATH, Community Mental Health Services Block Grant, Crisis Counseling Assistance and Training, the Bronze and McCorkle Act, SUS, Substance Use Prevention and Treatment Block Grant. So that was a huge one. These can all be found, by the way, on the Board of Supervisors March 26th agenda. All the contracts are in there. So if you have any questions or you want to do a deeper dive into what some of these contracts are about, they're all listed. Next one is First Amendment Performance Standard Agreement with California Mental Health Service, CalMesa. Third one is the Performance Standard Agreement with Cal Mesa, for Petra's Short Act LPS designation at its acute care psychiatric hospital in the city of Ventura. Also, while I'm going through these, if you have any questions you'd like to ask, Dr. Dennering, about these, I'm sure she can shed some light. The Valcor, had, okay, there's a first member of Valcor, who will be presenting to us in June. Idea Engineering, more Idea Engineering, Promotores, very important contractor with our county, One Step All of Us, and Turning Point. So these are all contracts with these providers. And that's it. Are there any questions for Dr. Dennering or comments?
I'm sure you guys do your research and do a great job, but it just seems like we keep adding on to a Valcor and adding on to Idea Engineering. Is that because we get more grant money to do more suicide prevention work and they're just the best for the jobs, easier to then, or?
So that's a great question, thank you. So sometimes it's expanding the scope of their current agreement, which means we have to go back to the board to add additional funds. If it's within the same work product, and then we just need to do more of it. Or it could be with the addition of new funds.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have public comments. Are there any public comments? Okay, before we adjourn, we're running early today, which really surprised me. So I will adjourn in a few minutes, but I thought we could have a little bit of a conversation that I don't know how much of a deep dive we can do since it's not on the agenda. We really can't. Yeah. So I will add to the agenda for next month to have a discussion about committees. And any kind of feedback that you would like to provide prior to that, if you want to send an email, since we can't actually have a dialogue back and forth because it's not on the agenda today, that would be very helpful. And in the interim, if Marty would be kind enough to take a look at the WIC code and see if we are mandated to actually have separate meetings. I know that, or even if we have to have the 5 standing committees that we have. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, Genevieve, go ahead.
Question for Marnie. Miss Marnie. Esteemed Marnie. Estimada. So I guess maybe adding to that question, if we're also required as the BHAB to have these committee meetings in person, because I sat on another county board, the Public Safety Racial Equity Group, and we don't have committees, we have work groups or ad hoc committees, and they can meet via Zoom without violating the Brown Act, and so that might solve, without getting into a discussion, that might solve some of the issues we're having around quorum. But I'd be curious if we're allowed to meet via Zoom. Thank you.
Chris, go ahead. I think I know the answer to that too, so go ahead.
This is just a general question, but one thing would like to know as well as the chair of the committee is what's the minimum number required to constitute a quorum? I'm sure it can't be too low, because then. So anyways, that's just a question I've had, so, thank you.
Okay, to answer your question, Chris, 50% plus 1 of the members.
I just meant membership, then, what's the minimum membership per committee?
What is it, 20 members?
3?
I don't, there's nothing in the bylaws.
Okay.
That says how many committee members we need to have.
Okay, thank you.
I do know that work groups are not under the Brown Act. So we can have as many work groups as we would like, and we're not under the mandate of the Brown Act. So I don't know if that answers your question, but the committees are Brown Act meetings thus far.
Yeah, I think the example I was giving, they have ad hoc committees, not work groups, and those meetings. So the ad hoc committees are the same as a work group?
Yeah, no, yeah, we could call them ad hoc committees. No, excuse me.
An ad hoc committee is time certain, an ad hoc committee has a beginning and an end.
That is a work group.
No, a work group doesn't. A work group can go for as long as you need it to go until it's wrapped up, but they're two different things.
Actually, with all respect, work groups do, they are for a time.
Right, but when you're doing an ad hoc, you set it up with a specific time period in mind. When you do a work group, you don't know how long that work group is gonna go. So they actually serve two different purposes.
Okay, thank you, Liz, appreciate that. Okay, anyway, nevertheless, they have a beginning and an end, they're not, they cannot continue going on for a long period of time.
But Janice, if I may say, ad hoc committees do not have to operate under the Brown Act.
I know, I said that.
Okay, well, I think there was some confusion about.
No, they are not Brown Act,
They're not.
neither work groups nor ad hoc committees are Brown Act. Okay, thank you. All right, so we know that, so that's good. And we can have as many ad hoc committees or work groups as we would like. So, and not be governed by the Brown Act. Okay, so are there any other questions? All right, okay, well, with that, we will adjourn today's meeting, and thank you again for all your participation and, for taking your time today.